My employee is having an affair with a married coworker. I am having trouble deciding where to draw the line between personal business and professional business here, and I'm hoping you can weigh in with some advice on how much responsibility I have to get involved in this situation. I am a director at a mid-sized company where I manage 10 managers, each of whom manages between 10 to 20 employees. One of the managers, I'll call her Anna, is single and attractive, and frequently catches the eye of our male clients and even some colleagues. She has always brushed off the attention quickly, and it has never been an issue. Anna is very personable, and her management style is unique in that her employees feel very comfortable sharing details of their lives they don't always share with the rest of the team, but she is always very professional, and they still respect her as their manager. I've always admired this about her. I know firsthand that it can be difficult to strike the right balance, and she always has until now. About a year ago, another manager hired an employee, I'll call him Alex, who seems to have hit it off with Anna. Their jobs are such that the two departments don't need to interact much, if ever, professionally, and our company has no policy against office relationships as long as a manager is not involved with someone they supervise. This isn't the case with Alex and Anna, and so they aren't in violation of any policy. Furthermore, they continue to behave professionally around each other at work. Though it's obvious they've hit it off, they go off-site together for lunch often, are constantly in each other's offices during downtime, etc. They've never done anything that in itself would concern me as her supervisor. Though I already suspected they were more than friends, this was recently confirmed when I was with Anna in a meeting. She left the table, leaving her phone in plain sight, and I saw a message from Alex that began with, "Hey babe, I'm so glad I got to spend the night with my lips against yours." I noticed that she has since changed the privacy settings so that her texts don't display on her phone, so maybe she realized that I'd seen it, and at the very least, I know it won't happen again. Anyway, Alex and Anna's private relationship isn't the issue. The issue here is that I happen to know Alex is married because he and his wife live down the street from me. He never wears his wedding ring at work or speaks of his wife and children that I know he has, and I have a strong feeling that Anna doesn't know. She and I are not close enough that I'd feel comfortable approaching her to tip her off as just a friend, nor do I think it would be appropriate as her boss. After all, she very well may know this is an affair and be okay with it, but I really do not believe that's the case because he's been unusually mum about them at work. There's also not really any situation in which I could casually ask Alex about his wife in front of Anna either. As her supervisor, do you have any advice? I worry that it could tarnish her reputation at work if people learn she's engaged in an affair with a married man at her office, but is that really my place to say something? Or should I just assume that Anna will deduce this on her own? Surely there will be red flags. What would you do? For what it's worth, Alex seems to be an exceptional employee and a likable guy. That doesn't mean I support what he's doing in his personal life, but I know people do things for all sorts of reasons we can't possibly know from the outside, and I don't hold this against him professionally at all. Update. Thanks so much for publishing my question and for attempting to provide some solutions. As fate would have it, I didn't have to decide what to do. After my letter was published, the story took a strange twist. Somehow, I'd missed your email response that my letter was being published, so I was quite surprised when I stumbled onto your site to find it. I was actually reading the comments in response when Anna came into my office. From where she was standing, my screen reflected onto the glass wall adjacent to her, and she apparently caught a glimpse of the title. She didn't say anything to me at the time, but later that day, she emailed me to ask if she could set up a private meeting with an HR representative and me. I fully expected this to be about her having to terminate an employee or some other standard office business, but it turns out she wanted to disclose her relationship with Alex as a result of seeing the letter. The way this happened was that she basically opened the meeting by saying that she'd seen the headline on my computer and worried I'd been searching for an answer online for how to address the relationship between her and Alex. She then explained that she became romantically involved with Alex not knowing his marital status, but that she found out on her own a while back and chose to continue the relationship. As gracefully as anyone can in these circumstances, she admitted that while it sounds awful, the awkward truth is that she and Alex are still involved in an affair. She said that seeing the letter I was reading was enough to let her know that at least one person was likely already onto them, and that she felt that, awkward as it may be, she needed to disclose this to HR so that, if someone did start treating her differently as a result, it was on the record that she was aware that people knew about the affair and had good reason to treat her differently. Our HR rep was as speechless as I was. I imagine he isn't approached often to formally document affairs, but we both manage to carefully avoid passing any judgment as we realize it isn't our jobs to decide whether someone's private relationship is appropriate so long as it doesn't impact their job performance. We told Anna as much, and I later advised that she and Alex should continue to act professionally at work and be sure to avoid any real or perceived work conflicts, something I'd say to any employee involved in an office romance, regardless of whether it is an affair. I received an email from Alex later that day in which he thanked me for my cooperation, which nauseated me. I replied, "There's no need to thank me. I am simply complying with the company's flexible fraternization policy, which does not prohibit you from having a personal relationship with anyone except your direct supervisor or higher. Please do not mistake my professionalism for cooperation or any sort of personal endorsement of the relationship. Because you are not my direct report, I see no need for you and I to discuss this matter any further, and because of the awkward position this puts me in as both an executive with the company and your neighbor, let's be safe and include HR in all future professional correspondence between us for the time being. Take care." He hasn't responded, and Anna and I haven't spoken of the matter again. I wonder if I should have replied to Alex at all, or if I handled my response appropriately given that I have to take a neutral stance in the office. I'd be curious to know if you would have handled receiving Alex's email differently. So anyway, there's that. Turns out Anna does know what she's doing. I figured readers would want to know, and for those who were curious about how I knew it was him that texted her, let's just say his real first and last name are unusual enough that there was no doubt. And the fact that he didn't wear his wedding band at work, but did elsewhere signaled to me that just maybe he had something to hide, and that this wasn't open.